Hello, I'm Tom Gayle, the lead for the BCOMS North Masterclass Programme. The original plan was to host each session out of the BBC Sport headquarters in Salford, Manchester. Then the second coronavirus wave hit, forcing us to go online. So, after a long wait, we finally made it. Our host for the day, the extremely talented Rasheede Speede.
Sport has this incredible galvanizing ability to bring people together. I'm Rasheede. When I grew up, my dad got this camera from a friend of his, and he brought this camera into the house, and it was there for a couple of days. I didn't touch it because, it was my dad's stuff. But then one day I just picked it up and I switched it on, and I looked through the viewfinder, and honestly, I couldn't put it down. It was just the most fascinating thing, looking through the world through this little thing. And so, worked 3 jobs, put myself through university, graduated, and then basically what I did, I spent a lot of my student loan on a camera and on a computer, and I taught myself how to edit. And then an opportunity came up to get into the BBC as a runner. And so what I used to do, I was based out of this kitchen where I used to make this tea. And I was always working on my own projects. And then a job came up. A job came up to get into BBC Sports News as a broadcast assistant. If I now fast forward to 2022 as somebody who has spent 15 odd years at the BBC and has travelled the world and has worked at, I do have to pinch myself sometimes. I've worked at some of these, these events that people will just give everything to be at. A part of the BBC ethos, which I take incredibly seriously, is to educate. Is to make pieces that make people think. For me, certainly in the last decade, it's been really important to try and get these kinds of stories out there so that they are accessible to everybody. That's the whole point, is that you bring together some excellence with some stories that really help us be better in general. This should be I should be saying this right at the end of the day, but this is the point. This is the point of what we do, why we do, why Shahjan does the stuff that he does is to kind of bring us all together, right?
My name is Mujtaba and I'm from Nelson.
I'm Jeffrey Makamu from Leicester.
I'm Gooby from Manchester.
I'm a member of the BCOMS North Masterclass Programme.
To begin, Rasheede really went into quite a lot of detail into how he curates his packages for sports news, talking a lot about different angles, how he likes to film things, but also putting a lot of emphasis on telling a story and adding a different layer to a package.
It was a great insight to see how they plan a shoot before it takes place, behind the scenes, someone who's obviously been in the industry for a long time executing his craft.
One of my favorite things was he focused on the skills that we should teach ourselves. Those skills will also open other doors for you as well. That was my favorite. Rasheede basically showed us how the camera works, how to set it up, how to position it correctly, how the sound works with the different mics, and how that all would come together in order to put up production.
So with the role play, we were given a scenario where we took turns answering a question each, and the other 2 people were asking the question and also filming.
To keep the viewers engaged, we planned out the questions first, and then once we figured out the questions, then we figured out the angles.
We got a chance to watch what everyone did.
To make change in the country, and I think the only way I can do that is by standing for Prime Minister.
So Emma, thank you for coming today. We've had some very big news that you're now leaving.
And then he gave us pointers on the footage, on things that we can change, things that we need to keep an eye out for.
I think he liked the variety, obviously, camera angles that we had. A close-up for the first question, the second angle, side, mid-shot. We didn't overcomplicate it as a group. We just had 3 different type of camera shots, but just kept it simple. And I think that's what stood out for Rasheede.
A huge thank you to Rasheede, who alongside Shahjan Maya put on a truly incredible day. Look, our remit is simple: to inspire the next generation. See it and you can be it. We want to shout it from the rooftops. Everyone can find their own space working in the sports media industry. Thank you to BCOMS and BBC Sport for entrusting me to lead the inaugural BCOMS North Masterclass Programme. Let's keep it moving.